Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for Wednesday, the 12th of August. We're almost getting to mid-month here, 2020, and the time right now is just about 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I wanted to see the EIA energy numbers. They look good. A net draw of about 7 million barrels. That's right in line with what the APA was, and you're up nicely as you're taking supply off the market, getting demand and supply to come back in. OPEC still came out, and they came out today and said that they think world growth will be 4.7% this year, even with the pandemic. They're talking about demand, basically, how it's going to impact the energies. We're seeing the milder weather starting to roll in the nat gas, and that market feeling the impact of that there. Grains are still, as I'll say, waffling in the water as they want to see how the U.S.-Chinese trade summit, that's what I'm going to call it, as everybody gets together, and if the Chinese are staying on track, as Larry Kudlow just said, for the Phase 1 trade deal. If you take a look at metals, you've got to have a stomach of iron in order to be watching these markets. Your range in silver is almost $3. Remember, each dollar is 5,000 in the futures market, so that's dramatic. Look at the gold. The gold went down last night to the 1874 level and has fully rebounded $70 an ounce. So what happened last night, I question. That big break reminded me of the big rally in silver that we had about a week ago, when in the evening the market went up over $1.50 an ounce, which was unusual in itself. And when we look back at that, that seems to have been a peak. And I'm wondering if now this big washout that we had again overnight didn't carry this market to make, if you will, a trough in the market. So watching that, I think that you've seen the max in the dollar index for the near term and the break in the euro. I'm wondering if that hasn't finally gotten itself back where it's got to be. When we look at the trade data, as you can see, Kamala Harris was chosen to be the running mate. The U.S. MBA mortgage headline came out, and all the categories were up nicely. So people are and did take advantage of those falling rates. They've gone higher since this was taken. The consumer price index running a bit hot, double what they expected in the CPI itself, 0.6% versus the expected 0.3. Prior was up 0.6, so that's good. Core CPI, if you take a look, up 0.6, they expected up 0.2. That's 3 times the amount they were looking for, and the prior was up 0.2. The energy, well, we know it had been down. Prior was up 5%, up 2.5. That's still an increase in the number. Food prices falling. That was the one interesting thing. As I said, Kudlow had said that the deal is still on. The Federal Reserve late yesterday afternoon said it's going to reduce the rates it charges cities and states. Let me give you the nitty-gritty of that. They're trying to get to near a zero rate if they are going to loan the money. They need the Treasury's approval. So these cities that have been hurt by the pandemic, they want to give them the money. It's not going to be a gift. They would make loans to these cities, short term, whatever that's defined. They can always roll it longer term to help them over the hump. And as I said, OPEC looking at the world economic growth forecast at 4.7%. I wonder what the break was yesterday, because you know, I was looking and I told my subscribers last night that I thought this market was going to grab hold in this 33.30 area, and it seems to have so far, so we'll see what that means. I want to remind you, if you're a SPDR or an ETF trader, they've got a little less volatility right now as a group than they do in the futures markets. They still follow, as you know, what's going on, gold, silver, the stock indices. I mean, there's different ways to trade everything, and a lot of people are fearful of being short in the futures markets at times. Why, I don't know. To me, the risk, and I learned that early on, is just about the same as being long. Yes, there's, in theory, you can only go to zero. We thought you can go beyond it. Crude oil. You went beyond zero. You went to a negative price. So I don't believe that there's much difference in long or short. That's my perspective. But I start you off in the afternoon at 4 in the afternoon, and I give you what the fundamentals are going to be for the next day. So I'm already seeing what the government reports are, any late day news that may have broken in the market, such as Ms. Harris. We got that yesterday. And I'm going to give you what I think you enter, where you exit, where I'm wrong. Wrong is very important. Traders all talk, oh, here, I want you to do this, but what about when it doesn't work out? I cover all these markets, and I mean, I've even added in the other categories bets now, so you've got that, and as that comes along. But we're up to about 36 different SPDR ETFs, specific buy here, sell there. This is what you do. And the idea is, I want to be your sounding board. You're thinking of doing something. What does Ira maybe think on the short-term and longer-term charts? I don't just approach it one way. I approach it on a weekly and a daily basis for you during the course of the week. How do you get this? Go to our website. You'll see the first 30 days, a little bit more than a Starbucks coffee, not much on the big one, and give it yourself a try with it. We also have a combo offer where you can try the morning, 5:40 in the morning video that I record for the futures. You tie the two together. It's a pretty neat package. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll see you at the end of the day with our market wrap-ups. I had enough action yesterday. I hope it's quieter today. Take care.